Hello, everybody. Welcome to Intersect Town Hall on October at the same time as Cardano Summit. So if you're zooming through one virtual space to another, let's see that it's not full screen. Maybe now it is. Then, yeah, now we are in this space giving quick updates, and then we have an opportunity to interact about the summit discussions and topics that are already discussed. But in further ado, Vanessa will pick us in.
Yeah, so welcome to Town Hall on the 24th of October 2024, run for now at least by Swarm. So we'll just start off with a little introduction to kind of what Intersect is all about for anybody here who doesn't know. So Intersect is a member-based organisation for the Cardano ecosystem, and it is tasked with ensuring Cardano's continuity and its future development, and with bringing stakeholders together. And you can find out more about Intersect at that link. And we've shared the slides in the chat, so you'll be able to follow that link. Next thing is to just cover what is a town hall for anybody who isn't sure about that. A town hall is a regular meeting for a community to come together, share updates, and discuss any important issues. It's ideally somewhere where you can reach many people at once rather than kind of in your working groups. You can reach people from all sections of your community. And it's an open space where anyone can stand up and share something. But saying that, there is a structure in this town hall anyway, in the form of different slots where community members can bring content. And we'll be telling you a little bit about how to do that and how to get a slide into the slide deck and how to take part a little bit later on. But basically, a town hall is shaped by the community it serves. So what it's like depends on who's there, and it depends on you. So get involved, please. And next, we just want to cover what is an after town hall, because that's something that maybe some people are not aware of. After Town Hall is the more informal, community-led event that happens immediately after a town hall. And it consists of a series of breakout rooms, each one facilitated by a community member or a group of community members about a topic that's of interest to them. For example, you could share something that you're working on, or you could discuss an issue that you care about. The breakout rooms each take place simultaneously, and town hall attendees choose which one they want to attend on the day. Anyone can sign up to run one, and you can run it in whatever style you like. And the Swarm team can offer help with planning, facilitating, documenting, and all that. So just let us know in the form, which you will see a link to in the next slide. There it is. And yeah, it's first come, first served to sign up to do an after town hall. So fill in the form or get in touch with us and let us know if you'd like to run one. Now we're going to go on to today's agenda, which is pretty much the same structure as usual, but maybe a few different things. Obviously, we've just done the opening and the intro. We'll have some updates from Town Hall working groups in a minute, and then a little update on the Intersect core focus for this year, and some updates from various Intersect working groups, Intersect groups, and an update from various members of the Intersect staff team. Then we're going to start looking at core infrastructure suppliers, and one in particular is going to be spotlighted today. You'll see that in a minute. And then we have our little connect and integrate human interfacing game, and then we move into after town hall. All right. So over to you,
Yeah.
Tebo, for what happened in the last town hall.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, in the last town hall, what we also tried was like a new polling feature that what topics should we discuss in town halls, and 17% of voters, like 23 voters, we were like addressing what are the underlying reasons for low participation in Intersect working groups. And yeah, there were a lot of different insights, and you will find like all the results and the conclusions in the event summary, and in which will all the links are all available, and they will also be in the video description if you look later online. That main topic was budget line timelines in general for Intersect, and of course the AMM sessions were running. After town hall, we had two sessions that time: marketing work group and D-Rep quality and questions and answer session. And all of that is all in that event summary. So check it out. Today, in this Zoom polling, we are going to choose our after town hall topics rather than pulling them from form, which we had submissions, but they were cancelled and just last minute. And so we are going to leverage more of this Cardano Summit time and these discussions in our today's call. I will open up the polling questions right now, so there will be time to address that. In addition, I added one more question. Where did you first find out about town halls? So we get a bit of some insight in general, how we onboard people in here. Then in town hall planning sessions, Vanessa, do you want to share what we did this month?
All right, so yeah, planning sessions. There's a QR code link there to the Town Hall survey, which has been going on for quite a while. We're trying to get people's input on how they think they would like to see Town Hall develop and what they think of it at the moment. But yeah, the planning sessions take place on the first and second Thursday of every month, and they're an opportunity for people to come and get involved in, as the name suggests, planning what happens at Town Hall. Significant updates in October. We submitted milestone 1 for the proposal that we are funded for to deliver town halls. And in September, there have been quite a lot of discussions on sort of communications, how to coordinate particularly newsletter information with Intersect. If you read the development update on a Friday, we don't always get the updates that we submit in there. So we need to kind of improve that a little bit. But the proposal that Swarm put in, part of what we wanted to do was to create a proposal for Intersect Town Hall going forward in 2025 with the community and kind of hand over to the Intersect community. So if you're interested in being involved in delivering Town Hall after January this coming year, 2025, come along to a planning session and get involved and, help us write the proposal that you will later take forward. The other thing is that we have a problems board, which is where we log things that people raise as issues in Intersect in general and in town hall planning in general. And you can, of course, comment. And I've just put a link to it in the chat. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. And now moving a little closer to our community members and committees and members who are building on Intersect. The main focus for 2024 was to kind of establish more understanding of how do you participate, how can you contribute, and using that energy to plan a bit of the next stages, what happens in this year and what's going to happen in next year, which is part of building the budget. And so that is the last pointer, harnessing Cardano's treasury with community consent. And this is still ongoing activity. Just recently, they also established a new working group to support on that. So check out in Intersect Discord server, where most of the coordination is happening. If you are totally new, what groups and what is all established in this network? It starts with committees where there are elected volunteers who are helping to shape this environment. And then if there are things that need to be done or focused on, then work groups are established. They have also clear structures and guidelines how they get to mature and then be in a space to help contribute to the governance of the Intersect and in Cardano in general. And if there is a new interest, maybe we should focus on this, but you're unclear if it's an immediate need or this is more a broad need, or you just want to kind of get engaged, then special interest groups are a good opportunity to get started, find the people who are interested on the same topic, and then from there, either move into working groups, establish a new working group, and then align with committee's goals. And in addition, what we mostly right now doing now is budgeting also for 25. It's one part is also budgeting what kind of areas we need to cover and creating like grant funds and buckets and the projects around, okay, here is a challenge we need to solve, who can help with this? And these are another set of groups that are helping to govern this ecosystem. And you may have noticed if you are, and there are some kind of like task forces popping up every now and then, and this is when there is really stuff needs to get done and fast, and there isn't enough time to get like a working group like structured in a quick sense. But we'll see if it's going to be something that is being standardized or not. But then for those committees and working groups and special interest, we all welcome you to share your updates, what you are trying to do, where you want, in what the intentions you want more people into. And we have prepared a slide deck for you, and you can have a quick shout out of what you're working on, what you want people to help with you. And that would be a good opportunity to connect with others and new people who are joining to see, hey, what opportunities are out here. This is the slide deck we share, and now there will be a few of the committee members sharing them. First one will be open source office, and I believe Tex will share. He's an open source program manager and secretary for Intersect open source.
Absolutely. Thanks so much there, Tivo. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Yeah. So we're working on a few things as far as finishing up our policies, or rather moving on from the definition stage to completion. These are basically some key factors, the contribution ladder and the project incubation process, right? How you move from each level. These are things that are going to be a key part of our paid open source model or paid open source concept, excuse me, that has been recently announced. And so that is basically the focal point of our 2025 plans, is to work on implementing that. And these are some underlying foundation documents, if you will. So those are in final development. Of course, the elections did finish, so we're looking to welcome our new cohort next week, on Thursday. We've already done, obviously, some public welcomes, and we'll work through the onboarding process, but the official first meeting for them is next Thursday. As far as the Q4 focus, as we get the new members onboarded to the open source committee, we're going to be looking to have them help us determine the strategy and goals for both the open sources office and the open source committee. So basically bring them up to speed with what's going on with the paid open source concept and anything else. Make sure we're focused on the right things. And then, of course, any information, if you want to stay up to date, is on our Gitbook site here.
Thank you. Yeah, I think this week and month is going to be in everybody's agenda to onboard and get new people up to speed with all the tools and discussions. And next one, is anybody here from Technical Steering Committee and or presenting hard fork working group?
Hi, Tivo. I can speak to that one on behalf of Matt and the team. Basically just what it says on the screen. So they're continuing to work really hard with the hard fork working group, and all the work and planning continues with that. So they have the first of the 5 governance actions was raised, which is the first time we've seen those, and Matt's popped a link in there. The dApps and developers are really encouraged to start testing now ahead of that mainnet hard fork governance action. The team are continually evolving and updating the knowledge base. So if the community want any updates, please use that link that's provided there at the bottom, where they can get those updates on a very regular basis. And contact Lewis, the secretary, if they've got any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one, we have Cardano Civics Committee, but most of the people, if not all, are in the summit right now. So I will help to give that update. All the constitutional workshops have now ended, with the last one was in 19th October. And now there's a lot of like this synthesis workshop where all of that information is aggregated by the voltage team, and it's nice to see now how the percentually, like through different cultures, how they differentiate, and from that we can, where there are differences, we can start having like a good discussions. Okay, where are these problems are coming from or stemming from, and then yeah, pretty cool workshops. So, and all of that will eventually amplify into more open discussions too. Another thing was launched a new working group, Cardano governance support, and this we will find in Discord server, and where there is continuous discussion on the budget. So, next one, membership and community committee, Nori Nishigaya as a co-chair for a while, and yeah, welcome.
Thanks, Devo. So for the MCC, the Membership and Community Committee, we've been doing a lot of stuff, and the key ones this month was to help support the AMM and help coordinate that amongst the different sites around the world. So those are all complete now, and it was all leading up to the Cardano Summit, which is happening right now in Dubai. And next steps around those is there's a reflection process happening, retrospectives to that are open to all members. So if you haven't seen those things, please reach out to your local hub or to the MCC itself, and we can help connect you with those so you can provide your feedback. We've also been doing the budget for the community grants and education and outreach buckets. Those, I think, were presented yesterday alongside all the other committee budgets at the Cardano Summit. So there are recordings of that are coming out. So if they're not out yet, they should be shortly. And just want to do a big shout out to the grants working group and marketing working group for all of their contributions to that. And then we were doing election promotion and support and held X spaces to introduce MCC candidates. And we now have 5 new people onboarding on Tuesday at our next meeting. I just put them in chat, but it's Sanjay, Matthew, Ha, Akil, and Darlington. So just huge shout out for people to step up and volunteer, and yeah, looking forward to welcoming them soon. There's a link here on the slide that goes to our GitHub or our Gitbook documentation. And yeah, the big thing is to be onboarding and welcoming the new members next week and electing chair and co-chairs. So that's coming up. Did you want to add something, Gemma, from the grant side?
No, not really. I was just coming on, preparing myself for the updates on the AMM's grants has been mainly focused on all of the constitutional workshops currently that have now ended, as Thibaut alluded to, and also working on the grant for the voting tool that will be used at the convention in December.
I remember from grants that Kimball Labs got another milestone that I went through that. So kind of like updates always happen, but no, even if they are not directly coming here.
Yeah, we always put them in the dev report on a weekly basis, and I'll also share our grants page where we track all of the milestones coming in. So if people want to have a look at that. Obviously, a lot of our grants were issued in the first 6 months of the year. So now it's really tracking milestones and watching those projects evolve. So we have now wrapped up the proposal discussion forum, the CC portal, and the DREP campaign platform. So those are some key projects that I think have been really successful within the grant space this year.
Yeah. Oh, and regarding CC portal, I think governance tooling work group put out a video just today. So check in Discord server. Okay, but now moving to Intersect stuff. Team updates. They have AMM meetings and some election results to share.
Thanks, Thibaut. So I'll take these next few slides. So over the last couple of weeks, we have had our annual members meetings that have been taking place globally. So you can see there, we have had one pretty much in each of our community hubs. So we started off in Japan at the start of October, then moved to Portugal. Then we had a special town hall online. So hopefully some of you joined that one. Then we had our African town halls. So we were on the ground in Ghana. However, we did have our hubs from DRC and Kenya join online. Then we've had Sri Lanka, Mexico, and finally Texas. So our leadership team have been attending all of these in person. And if we go on to the next slide, I'll talk to you in detail about a couple. So this was the AMM that took place in Ghana, which I had the pleasure of attending with Nick Cook. It was amazing to be there, to meet everybody, to have our feet on the ground. You can see the sort of family photo there. So there was about 30 of us that attended, 30 people in person. We also had the Kenya hub join online. And in that room, there was 6 of those people that stood up for the elections. We also noticed that actually having a female, such as myself, present in the room was helpful to attract other females to come out and have those conversations. And we thought that that may not necessarily have happened had it just been Nick who'd attended. So that was really nice to see. And we had conversations around university collaborations for next year, internships, work experience. So these are all things that we're taking away, and we'll collect from the different AMMs and feedback to you guys probably at the next town hall. And also in each of the town halls, we did a retrospective exercise, so collecting feedback. So again, all of that will be collated and we will share that with you moving forward. This slide is the Goma DRC AMM. So this was actually a virtual presentation that we delivered in French. So you can see there the group photo. Again, it was really nice to sort of see people there, even though it was virtually, but you can see there's great attendance, and I think they really appreciated having the input in French. And then the Sri Lankan AMM, so I did not attend this one. However, you can see there a photo of the group. Lawrence Clark from Intersect attended on our behalf. This was a bit of a bigger media coverage. So there was 141 people that attended in person, and there was news coverage there, TV news, press, radio. And yeah, I think you can see from those photos, it looks like it was a big success. So yeah, really, really good. And we've all really enjoyed it, I think. And we'll have some of our leadership team back, hopefully at the next AMM, who will be able to fill you in a bit more on all of the details.
A lot of nice pictures, and now it seems we have numbers.
So these are over to the elections, which Karen is going to update you guys on.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have pretty pictures like Gemma does. I did consider it, but then it just got all too complicated. So firstly, thank you to all of our members for coming out and voting on the elections. We really do appreciate it. We know there was a lot of information there to consume, and we are looking at sort of how that felt to you guys. So if you've got any feedback about the elections, please feed that into Intersect Committee Karen on Discord, or committees@intersectmbo.org. And we're doing a retrospective to look at how we can improve it for future elections, but also other key big engagement events that we're doing. So back onto the final stat. So this was as it closed. So this is what it looks like. I will not talk in detail about the box in the top left-hand corner, but more about the percentages. So they're the columns on the on the right-hand side of the screen. So we aim to have over 10% of the membership come out to vote on each of our committees. So as you can see, across the board, we easily achieve that with 33% and sort of 20% being the lowest, which was really, really great news. Overall, as you can see at the bottom, 37% of our membership came out and voted. Again, we're using that as a baseline, and we're really keen to increase that number going into the next elections in April. So if you've got any ideas how we can encourage more of our membership to come out and vote, please do let us know. Obviously, there were a number of seats available on their committees. So each of the members could cast a number of votes against those committees for each of the seats available. So on the right-hand side, the far right-hand side, you could see the percentage of eligible votes cast. So as you can see, not every person that voted used all their votes. But that's okay because they voted for the people they wanted to elect, not necessarily the people and not waste, but use all their votes that had available. However, we still achieved over the 10% there. So that was really great news. In total, you can see at the bottom right-hand corner, 15% of the total votes available were cast. So quite a lot lower than sort of the voters that came out. So again, that's a baseline for us and one we hope to only improve on as we go through and finesse the voting and election process that we have. All this information is available on our knowledge base, so please do pop along there, and it also contains sort of the information of all the individuals that have been elected. Apologies, maybe I should have had a slide on that also, but we will be introducing them as part of the next town hall as well. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please do feed them in. And we'll take note and improve it time on time. Thank you very much.
Cool. It's interesting to see that so many voters, like there were many who were not eligible but still voted. All right, core infrastructure suppliers. We have whatever. Okay, we have this. We have a Galois here, and I think James Parker is in the room, who will share a bit how they are improving Cardano core infrastructure. He's a software research engineer. Yeah, and you're welcome to take it away. And do you want to share your slides yourself, or I will move them along?
Yeah, it's fine if you handle them.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm James. I'm a researcher at Galois, and I guess I'll be giving an update on some of the work we've been doing with Intersect and IOG on implementing recursive zero-knowledge proofs. So this is work done with some of my collaborators. You can see their photos there. That's Stan, Ben, Marios, Marcella, Alex, and Brett. So I guess just to give a little background on zero-knowledge proofs, I don't know how familiar everyone is, but maybe this is helpful to someone. So zero-knowledge proof is a cryptographic protocol that allows a prover to prove that it knows some secret that satisfies some property, some public statement. A nice thing about zero-knowledge proofs is that verifiers can check that the secret satisfies the statement quickly, and also the verifier actually never learns what the secret is. Go to the next slide. So here's like a little example. Let's say that there's a cave that has two entrances, and to get from one entrance to the other, there's like a door that you have to go through, but it's padlocked. So you need a password to get through. And let's say I'm the prover, and I want to convince you that I know the password to open this door, but I don't want to tell you what the password is. All right, so how could you do this? Next slide. So you could run this interactive protocol to do this, and I guess the way it works is that you would go away, and I would choose some random entrance, either the A side or the B side, and I'd walk through it. Next slide. So now you come and you say, come out of this door, come out of door A. Next slide. So if I know the password, I open the door, and then I'm able to go out door A, right? So this shows that I knew the password with like 50-50 chance, right? So if you repeat this n times, you have a pretty good assurance that I actually do know the password, but you never actually learn what the password is. So this is like just an example. It's an interactive protocol. But in practice, these proofs are non-interactive, so you can generate like a proof certificate. I can give it to you, and then you can verify that the statement I made is true. So why do we actually care about zero-knowledge proofs, especially in like the blockchain setting? So typically in traditional blockchains, you have a bunch of blocks with transactions, and you need to validate that these transactions are valid. So one nice thing about zero-knowledge proofs is that you can verify that the transactions are valid faster than actually running the transactions themselves. So this can be an efficiency savings. And then specifically what we focused on with our work with IRG Intersect was recursive zero-knowledge proofs. So recursive zero-knowledge proof is where you have a zero-knowledge proof that verifies another zero-knowledge proof, and then you could have it verify another zero-knowledge proof. So this allows you to build up this inductive argument. And then you can also verify the entire chain of proofs very quickly. So this gives us nice efficiency gains, since you can verify the entire blockchain in constant time instead of having to run back and verify all the blocks. And then it also has the potential to increase interoperability. It could enable you to build secure cross-trading between different blockchains using smart contracts, where you have a zero-knowledge proof that verifies some transactions that occur on the other chain, and then you could do transactions on your current chain. So here's a few more technical details. I won't go too deeply into this, but the specific recursive zero-knowledge proof technique we implemented is called incrementally verifiable computation, IVC. We implemented this in the Halo 2 open source Rust zero-knowledge proof library. There's a link to GitHub if you want to check out that the source code for that. Next slide. And then maybe this is even too much detail, but our implementation is abstract over the different curve cycles. So particularly, we focus on two different curves. They're called Pasta and Pluto and Eris. The nice thing about Pluto is that it's a pairing curve. So basically, it has a mathematical property that allows you to verify these zero-knowledge proofs very quickly. And then we also support two polynomial command schemes called IPA and KZG. And then on the right-hand side, you can kind of see the architecture of what we implemented. Basically, we have a bunch of circuits, and you have to bounce back and forth between the cycle of curves to verify the proofs. But I won't go into the details on that. Yeah, so we've pretty much wrapped up our work on implementing the recursion and those primitives. So yeah, I guess thinking about what are potential future works and how can this further be integrated and taken advantage of in Cardano. So one nice thing to do would be to add some of these cryptographic primitives to Plutus so that you could efficiently verify zero-knowledge proofs in your smart contracts. And I think that's important for, like, say, these cross-platform trading smart contracts. And then another potential thing you could do is you could upgrade Mithril to use zero-knowledge proofs, which could offer security and performance benefits over the current Mithril design. Yeah, that's it. Happy to answer any questions too.
I do wonder, because the way I've not introduced, but I know that Midnight is using ZKs. Are there any kind of like similar things you're using, or is it the same tech stack? Like, do you know relations?
Yeah, I believe they're planning to use the same tech stack. So.
Okay, cool. Does anybody else have any questions? Perhaps we have a question. How did you come into Cardano, and why did you choose this environment to kind of make collaborations? Because ZKs are useful anyway. You can go to Polkadot and Tezos. What made it start from here? Or is your Galois still working on every blockchain and every industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think at Galois we've been working with IOG for a while, and now Intersect. we have a lot of expertise in formal methods and cryptography, so I think it's a great fit. We've been doing work, like we have a lot of Haskell experts. We've been working with IOG developers for a while. So yeah, we've really enjoyed our collaboration with you all and IOG in the past.
But what happened before you met IOG? Or was it still computer science in that kind of area, or?
Yeah. So we do computer science research in general, mostly in the areas I mentioned. And yeah, IOG is definitely the blockchain we've done the most work with, but we also have other commercial and government clients too.
Is there any governments that use ZK already?
I don't know about actually using, but I guess one project we were on is a project called Civ, which is a program from the US government, which is basically to do research on zero knowledge proofs. So there are definitely government institutions in the US at least that are interested in researching and finding applications to deploy zero knowledge proofs.
Pretty cool. Yeah, if you can find a link or any article about that, would be amazing. Yes, I will have to do a lot of research to find that into the meeting somewhere.
Sure.
But well, unless there is any other question from anybody else in here in the room for James or about Galois or the ZKs. It seems not. Then let's move to after town hall part. So I have been running this poll. We have 11 responses. I'm going to end the poll now. And that will, I also have to share results. That will give us a bit of insight what are people thinking about. And these questions were somewhat generated based on what were the main topics in Cardano Summit that's happening yesterday and today. And because we don't have after town halls, we could use these topics to have a bigger discussions. But before we go into that, I'm going to copy paste these questions into our chat. And then we can consider them also as an opportunity to discuss in the small breakout rooms that we're gonna have right now. Vanessa, would you mind sharing in how this process works?
Yeah, so this is becoming a little bit of a tradition in Town Hall. Tavo, you're just talking about human interfacing, right?
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. So everybody who's here is going to be randomly put into a small breakout room with a couple of other people. And the idea is just that we don't often get that much of a chance to meet new people and chat to them. So probably you'll be with at least one person that you don't know. You can introduce yourself. You can talk about what brought you into Intersect, what you do here, what you're interested in. And it just means that you've broken the ice with a few people. And each time you come to a town hall, hopefully you break the ice with a few more. So we'll only be talking for 16 minutes. And if you find that you spend that 16 minutes chatting about who you are and what you do, that's fine. But if you want to get on to anything more detailed, you can. When we come out of the breakout rooms, we're going to be talking about the poll questions that Tevo just put in the chat. But if you want to make a start in your small group and have a conversation about one of them, you absolutely can. But yeah, you'll just have a little bit of time to share something about yourself and what you do here. And yeah, just kind of get to know each other. So, Tevo, have you created breakout rooms now?
That's a good point. I was copy pasting some details on.
All right. But yeah, you'll be automatically assigned, so you'll see something pop up in a second that goes, you're being invited to join breakout room number such and such. So just click on it and in you go. and there should be 4 people in a group, but depending on whether people do actually jump into their room or not, because obviously it's optional, you don't have to. If you've fulfilled your level of meeting new people for the week, you really don't have to.
Yeah. Before I open the breakout rooms, so everybody who is watching from the YouTube, and thanks for watching. All the details will be in the Zoom description. If you are watching from the Swarm YouTube, there will find meeting summary, you will find any extra topics if we have after town halls and meeting summaries along with that. And any insight that we have into these questions that we just had topics on will be also in the meeting summary. Let's stop the recording.